Well, at the end of this time, I'll be 75. Right. Which means next time I'll be 80. Well, at 80, performance becomes diminished.
OTAFIIRE has come out to tell his boss, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that he is old and he needs to retire. This comes at a juncture when OTAFIIRE, covertly, I think by what he speaks, has come out to speak against family rule. Of course, he's doing it wisely. But the OTAFIIRE is among those in government who rarely comes out to take responsibility when the government comes out to mistreat the people or to beat the people or to deviate from the constitutionalism. But of course, in a wise manner, because he doesn't want to take that burden. There are some newcomers within the NRM who defend NRM even when it comes out to perform crime, to break the constitution as if they brought it in government. Yet OTAFIIRE keeps on not taking responsibility. Remember, OTAFIIRE is the Minister of Internal Affairs. Even when the police main CP comes out to say that he's never ordered, that the constitution tells the contrary. So in this episode, I've come to talk about how OTAFIIRE came out to tell General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni that he must retire, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the certain matters we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagari. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, for those who don't know, Kahinda OTAFIIRE is one of the Bush war generals. Even when General Museveni was swearing at Parliament, he was among the fighters. OTAFIIRE, I've realized the politics of OTAFIIRE is liberal. In fact, I prefer those heads to be there when transition talks come out. Because when it comes out to speak, I keep on telling people that transition is not supposed to be fought by only those in the opposition. But as we fight, we must also pray that the other side has sober leaders who are liberal, not extremist. In that way, we can negotiate to get a better place. We are at a juncture when General Kaguta Museveni, by September, is going to be 81 years. And he's planning his son to take over. It is becoming a family matter. Kahinda OTAFIIRE was the first person to tell General Museveni that he cannot be president. You all remember that video. So he came out to say that even General Museveni should retire, but he did it in a smart way. One would ask what smart way. Kahinda OTAFIIRE came out to announce that in the next cycle of an election, he's not going to run for office, that he's going to be 80 years. And that he has served by 80 will be too old. And I think he was jabbing someone. In fact, he has a tape.
Well, at the end of this time, I'll be 75. Right. Which means next time I'll be 80. Well, at 80, performance becomes diminished. So I'm not saying I'll come, but in my view, at 80, performance becomes diminished. You reach what we call diminishing returns.
Kusawa tano ameweka Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tai.
That is OTAFIIRE. So you clearly see even OTAFIIRE coming out to say that at 80 is tired. Remember, they have served for over 40 years. It is somehow true, because even people like Biden, they're already 782. He was put out of election on that technicality because he's old. Because trust me, an 80-year-old, look at your grandfather, cannot be having the same tenacity, the same energy, the same zeal, like maybe a 40, 50, or 60. And most importantly, when he has been serving for 40 years in the same position, that's why they are comfortable. That's why they don't care about health system and the roads and etc. Because they are comfortable, and complexity brings contempt. The reason I'm saying that OTAFIIRE attacks General Kaguta Museveni, right now, Museveni is 80. in September, after the election, is going to be 81 years. So when OTAFIIRE comes out to say that at 80 we will not be running for president, is literally meaning General Kaguta Museveni that he must not be running. In fact, the NRM regime was planning, most especially the first family. That's why they tested the waters by Moses Kainerugaba to see if he could fly their interest high in the 2021 election. But they saw that Moses was so excited, he knows nothing about the country. He has a loose mouth, poor organizational skills. They have spent almost billions of money in his campaign, but he has failed to capture the hearts of the very many Ugandans. Each rally that you used to see from Moses Kainerugaba, it would cost 2 billion. Just remember the rallies he held. That's why even Balaam, the organizer, is a very rich man. Balaam is a very smart man. In fact, I pray that I have Balaam's prowess when it comes to business. Okay? He's the one who benefited. So OTAFIIRE indirectly is echoing that General Museveni should relinquish power. This is what, by the General Museveni said before he attained 75 years. He once came out to say that by 75 he must retire. Even himself, he knew that 75 you are weak. But when he clocked 75, they had to remove age limit. In fact, Museveni said these statements.
Limit. What is your view on that? Should the age limit also be there anyway?
Well, that one, I think that one we had ignored. We had not discussed it. It can be discussed, but since we had not, but I think after 75, the vigor, I think there's some scientific idea there that maybe the vigor is not as much after 75 years. So that one I wouldn't quarrel with. I know there are some leaders who have been leading even beyond 75. But I think if you want very active leaders, it's good to have the ones below 75.
So are you saying you wouldn't go beyond 75 yourself, sir?
Not at all. Certainly not.
That's General Museveni. So even General Museveni knew, but because maybe wants the family interest to continue, wants to die in power, that's why he removed the age limit by beating up people in parliament. That was a day. Okay? I will never forget, because by that time I think I was on the university, if I remember very well. People were beaten, backs were broken. In fact, here is the sneak peek. That is what happened. Okay? Members of parliament were beaten. The August House has seen days, but on General Kaguta Museveni we've seen days. Under General Kaguta Museveni is only when the parliament has been attacked by the military. Even during biggest dictator like Samina and Obote, the nearest the army came to parliament was during Obote, the pigeonhole constitution. They never entered parliament. Under General Kaguta Museveni, they entered beaten people. Even when they were passing the coffee bill, they again came. Parliament has been tainted, most especially under these weak leaders, and it's even more worse under Anita Among. Okay? So OTAFIIRE coming out to echo those statements, they are tailored specifically to General Kaguta Museveni to understand that it's not immortal. It's not immortal. Anytime. I pray that he gets 200 years. In fact, for me, my prayer is that I want General Museveni to go to heaven after seeing regime change, to understand that's not the only person who can lead of the country. You know, if these people take long into power, they think that they were chosen by God to lead over, not knowing that this country is going to stay for 1,000 years. It's going to have leaders. It has ever had leaders even before independence. So they give themselves a lot of self-importance, thinking that they can lead the country. So OTAFIIRE coming out to say these statements, they were tailored for General Kaguta Museveni. Follow General OTAFIIRE very well, we'll see that he doesn't want to take the blame of the regime. These hated fellows like Kabanda, some people don't even hold the ministerial position, come out to protect the regime at the expense of the constitution. And I laugh because senior members don't even go up to that. To show that OTAFIIRE is liberal, he even went out to say that NRM should not force the people to love them. He said this statement.
Government, ewe ebina byobufuzi, emirembe, kola byabasanira okukola. Nga tewali ayingirira munne. Abatamanyi nti eggwanga ulyaliwo nga tebaliiwo. Weeriringa wetuli. Lijja kuba obusebu nga tugenze You will wake up dead.
That is kahinda OTAFIIRE. So for me, I think kahinda OTAFIIRE is liberal. Even when we are going to a transition, I pray that NRM gets sober leaders who are not extremism, who understand the dimension of the country. Because trust me, even if kahinda OTAFIIRE sits down like this, in the heart of hearts, in his soul, he cannot come out and say that we are heading in the right direction. He may love General Kaguta Museveni because of the attachment in the bush and everything as a friend, but if you ask him, he will tell you that Museveni should retire because he's 80. He say that even General Museveni has never said that. In fact, I keep on telling people that if he had age limit, General Museveni would have done 10 years, would be the father of the nation like Mandela, because he went to the bush and did 10 years. We would have finished Amama Mbabazi's presidency, we would have finished Besigye's presidency, maybe. We will be finishing someone's presidency, and now we will be having Kyagulanyi. That's how things are. And you see a leader who's 80 is coming out to stand to an extent of now preparing his son, unconstitutionally using the back door of the constitution, intimidating people, torturing people in their basement, all in the name of retaining power. Shame on General Kaguta Museveni and a shame on the NRM. Of course, that's my opinion. Do make us by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more such videos. Let me also take this opportunity to tell you that I'll be running as a member of parliament for Makinde East constituency 2026. It is now or never to redeem the great people of Makinde East. We are tired of electing weak leaders who know nothing. For over 20 years, the voice of Makinde East has not been heard on the floor of parliament. It's like, okay, we are just escorting others. As very many members of parliament can stand out to speak, ours just sits down to enjoy. And now they are all, every person was given a chance to represent the great people of Makinde East is coming back with a bigger stomach, with a fat neck, saying that you should send him back. Before you allow him to speak, ask anyone who has ever served to tell you what he has done for the great people of Makinde East. Every time parliament gives out the best performing members of parliament, ours has always been in the last 50, last 20. Yet we are constituency in the urban center. We can put the end at that by electing yours truly, Kabye Sulaiman Mawagali. I'll see you on another one. Peace.
Mpala na walai kusaba chimuze mpala na bulungi waji ava mpala na bulungi nange benjagala obulungi.